Welcome back, travelers, to your Referral Roadmap. This podcast is dedicated to helping you unleash your personal and business revenue potential by cultivating referral relationships. In this 10-part series, we're diving into the dynamic realm of prospecting. We'll be exploring how prospecting in business can be a key driver of success, offering insights and strategies to master this essential skill to build your own referral-based business. Today, we're talking about niche domination, prospecting strategies for specialized markets, with our special guest, Wyatt Poindexter.
Woo!
Woo! Wyatt is the managing partner of the agency Oklahoma, and I know Wyatt's going to have a ton of knowledge for us today. But before we do jump into that interview portion, wanted to go ahead and redefine what prospecting is for the travelers who have not been on the road with us to this point. So, prospecting is the behaviors or activities and actions that you execute, creating referrals and or leads, resulting in revenue for you and or your company. Also known as making it rain, as Athena likes to say.
Be a rainmaker, baby. I'm telling you, become a rainmaker. And no matter what industry you're in, they can't touch you. Can't touch you. So
you
always be able to make rain. Huh?
I said you heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you. I can tell you guys so many stories of rainmakers in different industries that when they left, the company didn't take good care of the rainmaker. Things got not very pretty. So rainmaking is a powerful tool. All right, Jada, I want to talk about a story that will sound familiar if you've listened to the podcast about target marketing, but it's talking about a niche and finding that niche that propels your business. And you guys know the home building company that I'm a partner in. When I determined that the client wasn't the person building the house, that the client really was the referral partner who was a real estate agent, that's when the magic started happening. So what's really important for you guys to hear today is focus is what helps us 10x. It is coming up with that focus. And we did that at Turner and Son Homes. And at the time, you guys remember the story, when I first started, we had 3 referral partners. And because we focused on a niche and we knew what we needed to do, build on land, construction in Oklahoma was going to require us to become realtor friendly and do foundational work to make sure we had that good relationship. By doing so, we went from 3 referral partners to, Jada, what are the current numbers?
We're around 1,500 right now.
Yep. So 1,500. You can imagine what happens when you get that type of number of people working with you. So as we go into looking at niche markets and understanding how to leverage them, I want you to be thinking, are you thinking wide or are you focused? And I know my friend Wyatt will help us talk about that and his strategies and how he made the rubber meet the road there. But before we get into all that, Jada, I know that there are people out there that want the facts and figures and they like the stories, but they want the facts. So Jada, give us the facts.
Yes, I can resonate with them. I'm a fact girl. I will make sure that the link to the resources that I'm going to talk about or the statistics that I'm going to talk about is in the show notes, but did want to just read them straight from the website so that I don't mess them up and hopefully, fingers crossed, don't mess them up. So
that's right.
72% of successful bloggers attribute their success to focusing on a specific niche. Wow. Niche websites experience 53% more user engagement than general topic websites.
All right.
67% of consumers trust niche websites for specialized product recommendations. User-generated content like comments and forum posts is 60% more prevalent on niche sites. 55% of consumers report finding more actionable advice on niche websites. 70% of niche website creators report a faster growth trajectory when they operated broader websites. Approximately 60% of users return to niche websites within a month because they find value in specialized content. 75% of specialized websites secure positions in the top 10 Google search results for their primary keywords, which we've learned, Athena, that is huge. Got to be SEO friendly.
Yep.
And 90% of top performing niche websites receive over half of their traffic from organic search. So that was a lot of statistics today, but I'll make sure that that is linked in the show notes below. Want to get to our interview with Wyatt. So without further ado, welcome, Wyatt. We're happy to have you on our podcast.
Yay!
Be here.
Of course. Could you tell other travelers with us about a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you got started in your industry?
Yeah, of course. Wyatt Poindexter. I've been with, I was going to say Keller Williams. I was with Keller Williams for 28 years. Started back in 1996. I had just left a pharmaceutical position. And my father, who was Keller Williams' top realtor at the time, he said, since you're going to be living at my house, I need help with real estate. Come to the office, and I just need you to go do stuff for open houses. I need you to go door knocking. This is old school stuff. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And he said, and you need to get your license. So I said, all right. So I got my license and started helping him for 3 or 4 years. And I'll never forget, I said, Dad, why don't you want to do the luxury homes? And he just laughed. He said, that's not that easy. He said, there's like 2 or 3 people that have honed in on that. And he said, they get all the business. And I said, well, I think it'd be fun. And I want to try to get it. And he's like, well, good luck. Cause it's very, very tough. So there was a friend of a friend who told me this guy was going to put his house on the market. It's a $650,000 house. It might as well have been $6 million. And I went to the guy's front door, left stuff at his front door. His wife answered one time. She told me to leave. And this is kind of before texting and everything. So I'd leave a message on his phone, and finally he called me and said, listen, I've already picked my guy, and he's got experience, and you don't have experience selling these houses. And I said, will you just let me come over and talk to you, just interview one time? He's like, no. He said, I've got my guy. So I was really discouraged, and I was telling my wife about it. We prayed about it. And I said, I just feel like there's something here. And I contacted him again. I said, hey, give me one more opportunity. So give me 5 minutes. And he said, 5 minutes, that's it. Come to the house and I'll give you 5 minutes. And before that, I told my wife, we had just got a credit card in the mail. I had a super high max of $2,500. And, we're just getting started now. And I think my first year I made $600 in real estate. Second year I made $11,000. So I had arrived, So it's a very tough career. But I said, I want to use this credit card to market this house. And she said, well, how much of it? And I said, I'm going to max it out at $2,500. I'm going to do whatever I can to get this house sold if I get the listing. So I did this great presentation with this guy, and he was so impressed. He said, man, if you had more experience, I would hire you in a second. He said, but you just don't know how to sell these type houses. And I said, well, what if I did it for free? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I just want the opportunity to prove to you. And I said, I'll even tell you this as well. I'll spend $2,500 on your house marketing it, and you give me 30 days. What can you lose? And he said, done. And we shook on it right there. And the first week I sold it to my own buyer, and he was ecstatic. And he's like, man, thank you so much. You did a great job. I get to the closing company, and you know how they have the breakdowns on the settlement statement. It shows the commission showed 6%. And I thought, this is what I would have made. This is, I thought, man, that could have really helped us out. And I told the title company, said, hey, listen, you're going to have to take off the commission. I said, I told him I'd do it for free. They said, actually, he called in. He said, give you the full 6%. So I was like, wow. And I really felt like, I remember being almost in tears because I thought, finally, this is something really worked out. And I used that money. I used about 25% of that money to market other houses. And when I say market it, we didn't have the social media stuff. So I was doing newspapers, magazines, just listed cards. I did everything I could to get that thing sold. And one of our owners at Keller Williams asked me one time, she said, how many deals do you think you got from that one house? And I said, I've actually tracked that. And I don't track it anymore, but it was 65 deals that I got from one listing. Wow. And just the guy taking a chance with me and giving me that one opportunity completely changed my life. And selling that one house got me in the door, no pun intended, to other houses. People saw what I sold. Oh, we saw you sold that other house. I guess you can sell ours now. So that's really what happened. The flip side of that, though, I gauged so much towards the luxury homes that nobody calls me for the other stuff anymore. when I say other stuff, houses under 500,000, which I'm like, we bring the same luxury experience to every single house, whether it's $50,000 or $1 million. That's what people have to understand. I may take out a video for a smaller house, but that's it.
Wow.
So that's pretty much how I got my start selling luxury homes. And that was actually the short version, if you can believe it.
That is a phenomenal story, though.
I love all the components. First of all, I love that you're honest, that you didn't make a lot of money in the beginning. I think so many people who are entrepreneurial think they're going to come out of the gates and get rich, right?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't happen. And that you believed in yourself and you reinvested the money. So even though that's not what this podcast is about, I hope everybody heard that. Those are nuggets to live by. Hello. Hey, I do have some questions for you. And it's interesting. I'm glad you said that you do list houses under 500, because you are the man on the street in Oklahoma for luxury. I know you have some competitors, but really when luxury is thought about in our area, and your name is synonymous. I mean, and people are like, yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, that's very nice. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I will say, on a side note, one of the things that you do to market really is endearing to my husband, and that is all the sports cars you put in front of the houses.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is a marketing tactic behind about everything that I do, and I'll tell you briefly. I had a big listing out in Moore, a big estate. And I remember taking pictures and I thought, gosh, this house this guy collected race cars. He had a shop, he had a pool house on 10 acres, I think.
Wow.
And it was just a phenomenal house. And I'm like, gosh, you can't get all this into one shot. I wish I could get an aerial photo somehow. This was pre-drones, so nobody had drones. And so I called a friend that was a pilot. I said, do you know anybody's got a helicopter? And he's like, why? I said, I want to get some aerial photography of this house and more. He's like, man, that's a great idea, but do you know how expensive that is? I said, no, get me a price. So I think it was $4,500.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I can't do that. I said, but if something ever comes up, you can think of something else I could use to get aerial photography, let me know. He calls me the next week. He goes, we are flying to Norman in the helicopter. We're going right over that house. We can do it it was either $2,000 or $2,500. And I said, well, I want video and photos for that. So he said, great. And so he flew over it, got all the videos, got all the photos, gave it to me. And I started promoting that. And that's what sold the house. And I had so many people go, how in the world did you get a video of a house like that? And, now you see them all the time, but this was back in the early 2000s. And I said, I hired a helicopter to get this exposure. And once drones caught on, then everybody's doing them. So I thought, what else can I do to make my listing stand out? Where when somebody sees that listing, I want them to go, that is a Wyatt Poindexter listing. So I changed to doing all my photo shoots at twilight, because a lot of realtors don't want to mess with their nighttime. And I thought, I'm going to do it at night. It's going to look better. The house is going to pop. The illumination from the lights, the exterior lighting, the pools, it's going to look incredible. So I started doing that. More people started doing that. So I thought, what else do I do? And this brings me to the cars. So I thought, I want to put some cool cars. I'm a car guy. I'm not a house guy, if you can believe it. I love cars. So I reached out to some friends that had really exotic cars and said, hey, can I borrow your car for a photo shoot? And they're always like, yes, can I just have a picture of my car in front of the house? So we started doing that. And that started really, so when you're scrolling, everybody that stops on with a car, it would probably be my listing back then. And then I thought, I wonder if I could reach out to Range Rover and Porsche and Mercedes and BMW, all the high-end guys, and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Every single one of them said, call us anytime, any car you need, we'll bring it to your house. Just tag. And this, this is with social media now. He said, just tag us and we'd be happy to continue to do this. So that's what I did. And so that really turned into a fun part of it. What I didn't realize at the time, these same GMs from these car dealerships were sending me business. They said, hey, this is the guy you want to use. He uses our cars, call him. So that's what it turned into. And now I'm a sponsor of Coffee and Cars because the same thing. I'm like, it's not about selling the actual luxury home. It's about selling the luxury lifestyle around the homes. So another long answer for you. So
Well, I love it because,
great.
again, a question I was going to ask you, but you just answered it, was about building relationships to help with a specialized market. You just said it, right? I mean, you understood your niche,
Yeah.
and you understood the life they want, and you built the relationships in that community. So it's a helping. You're helping
Yeah.
the client, you're helping the other vendors. I mean, that is a perfect example of a win-win referral based business.
That's right. And, I look at other companies. If somebody does a really good job for me on
Yeah.
concrete work or a plumber
Mhm.
or whatever, I always say, let me take a picture of you. You were phenomenal. Would you mind if I posted something about you and your company? Because I really want to help Oklahoma-based companies that are good businesses.
Yeah.
And, if somebody does a terrible job, I'm not going to be that guy that says, don't use these people, they're terrible.
Yeah.
But, promoting others is what it's about. And a lot of the times they remember that and they send me business after I do it. And I'm not doing it for that. It works good, but it's helpful to them and me.
Listeners, I really hope that you are taking notes. This is definitely one of the episodes you're going to want to save and listen to later and take some of these nuggets. Yes, we're talking about niche marketing, but what he's really describing to you is how to build a robust referral based business while having focus. There's a lot of nuggets that seems like he's just having a conversation right now, but he's dropping the mic over and over again. What he just said, let me unpack it. He said, I knew my target market. I had a focus. I figured out how they like to live. I distinguished myself separately from the rest of the competition. And then I went and added values to others. And what happened? Now everybody comes to him, and he has an entire referral network of the same people all helping each other. I mean, Wyatt, thank you for making that so easy. However, I do know that it hasn't been easy. So with that, what are some of the pivotal moments or breakthroughs that helped you learn all that wisdom? What are something that you're like, this was a breakthrough, something that these listeners need to understand?
One of the things that sadly, a lot of it's bad thing that's happened in my life with real estate, but I look at them as learning experiences. So the negative things that happen within real estate or in life can always be turned around later. Like last year was literally the worst year I've ever had in my life. I mean, professionally, it was terrible. I went through stuff with an employee. I won't say his name or what he did, but it was a really good friend that he had to leave my team, and it was very stressful and it was tough. And then things were falling around me. My previous company was treating me a certain way. And I thought, and I remember I'm a cold plunger, this, but I'm a cold plunger. I'd go in my cold plunge, relieves the stress. I look at my Bible app and I pray. And I remember praying, why am I going through this? And what God kept saying was, Wyatt, this is temporary. This is all temporary. You are going to get through this. You cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember going, okay, Lord, I got this. I can handle this. This is very stressful. And it was 8 months of stress. And then certain things happened really fast. The agency, Wayne Kirby, everything fell into place. And I thought, this is my dream career now. And it relit that fire with the agency because they are the company that I've always wanted to be with. I mean, they literally give me all the tools that I need now. Wow. My last company was great, but they didn't have the luxury tools like this company has. So really, learning from the hard experiences is the best learning experiences for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That kind of answer your question?
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. So now you've had, I don't want to give away our ages, but a couple of decades, I think, right, in real estate now.
I'm at 29 years.
Right?
Not 29 decades,
so
29
I'm like,
years.
He looks really young. He started when he was 10. And so, no, I mean, what I'm hearing is that, so your focus is, although you can help anyone, your marketing focus is this luxury market. You've built a robust referral network that specializes in helping the same client. And now it sounds like your complicated journey, God helped you get connected within the agency, which is the perfect industry. I mean, brokerage to help you even further your niche. Is this correct?
That's right. That's right. It's the
Wow.
biggest blessing that's ever happened to me in my real estate career.
Wow.
And you talk about when my last company treated me a certain way, this company stepped up,
Wow.
flew in to help me.
Wow.
And I thought, these people, I mean, it's so next level, and it's like a family now. And I love everybody within the organization. Everyone's been so helpful, and everything that they said that they're going to give me, they give me plus 100% more. And I'm like,
excellent.
it's been phenomenal.
That's fabulous.
And one of the other really things that I've really strived for, and when you're a realtor, you're not clocking in 9 to 5. You're not getting a paycheck. You're not getting paid every week. So I treated every morning from 8 to 12, and I did it for 17 years, was strictly marketing. No phone calls, no texts, no emails, market. And that's what I did. And that's what really built, I kind of jumped on Instagram and all that stuff kind of early on and built a pretty good database of people. But that really what catapulted my business was the social media stuff and the marketing. I had marketing people that helped me, but I saw their content and I'm like, this is not what I want to present. And I'm a terrible delegator, so I just do it myself. I'm learning to delegate now. I'm getting help for that.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So because you've built this robust referral base business, do you still have to prospect?
I still do.
You do. So what advice would you give to our listeners about prospecting with a niche or specialized market? Does it help you the more you're focused?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd make it a point to call, past clients, email them, tell them happy birthday, do all sorts of stuff like that. I'm not a great social networking person, but that's what my goal is to be. So I have new goals this year. I've got a marketing person coming on full time, which is my niece from OSU. So she's going to take over, and I'm going to be able to go out there. But I'm going to be able to go out there and start hustling and networking. I want to get outside my comfort zone and going to more things. The last thing I want to do is go hang out with a bunch of realtors. Sorry. Some of them are not the greatest people, and they all have these different motives, and everybody turns me in for everything. And I'm just like, but I still need to network with them and hopefully get business with them, because they're a big part of how I sell a listing. I can't sell them all. I need them to bring their buyers to sell listings.
How do you maintain for 29 years and have such an impact in the community? How do you, in a industry that is complicated and competitive, maintain your reputation and your credibility? Because you have that intact no matter what you've gone through.
Yeah. The thing is just being consistent in everything, faith, everything, the way you treat people. My dad said years ago, I will never forget this. He said, and I was real embarrassed of my name growing up. There was a movie that came out. I think it was the same year. I want to say it was 87. A movie came out called Revenge of the Nerds. The main nerd was Poindexter. And then the other movie came out, Weird Science, and the nerd in it was Wyatt. So I'm like, so I'm cursed with this nerdy name. And, at roll call in class, Wyatt Poindexter, I was back there going, oh, gosh, that's me. But, my dad told me, he goes, Wyatt, there is not another Wyatt Poindexter anywhere in the world. Your name can be synonymous with what your career is somehow. He said, you think it's a curse, but in the future, I think it's going to be a big blessing for you. And I thought, Dad, you're crazy. My name, Wyatt Poindexter, is never going to do anything. So when I was trying to come up with a name for my team, we had different names, and a friend just said, you've got to call it Wyatt Poindexter Group. And I just thought, man, I don't know. He said, you do, because that puts you in control of your own team and your name. So I'm glad I did it, because my name is very unique. And so when somebody says Wyatt in real estate in Oklahoma, they're probably talking about me, let alone Poindexter.
Wyatt, based on your answers, you have a very innovative spirit. And that is something I very much appreciate. The market's changing. And not just for real estate, but the entire purchasing market has changed with technology and all of those things. What's next for you? What's your new innovation? You found your new home. Tell us. Or is it a secret?
I'm always looking for the next best thing. So I can't say yet. We have a large listing at Carlton Landing. I was just there yesterday. $4.2 million house. My photographer, Ryan Wells with Flow Photography, amazing guy, has been with me forever. He said, I want to try something new on this house. He said, bear with me. I'll just show you when it's done. And he goes, you're going to love it. So I'm like, if it's something new and fresh, we're doing it. I don't care what it is. So I don't know what it is yet, but it has to do with photos and video and a layout of the home. So
I love it. I can't
I can
wait.
share it later. So sorry.
Well, you know what? When you get it, let us know and we will share, because that's awesome. Or share a listing with us. When this go live, share a listing that you're doing it, and we'll make sure that people get to see it.
I'd love to do that. But
Yeah.
to answer your questions, I don't have really anything right now in the arsenal to go, but I'm looking. So if you know of anything, I'm always going to be the guy to go to, because I want everybody's kind of doing the same thing now these days. You know, when I look at photos, I'm like, oh, there's one of my, oh, that's somebody else. They got a car and they got a twilight shoot. So now what? You know, so every month I ask my team, anything new coming? I need to know what's coming. Let's get it out there. Let's do it.
You have Jada and I's promise, because we are doing quite a bit of research currently right now. So as we learn of anything, we'll just holler back at you and be like, hey,
I love that.
We'll share it. All right. So one of the things that I want you to do is to think about the people listening right now who have a broad spectrum. And we want to help them figure out that if they focus in and have a niche or a specialized market, it will help them with their prospecting. What do you think they need to hear to help them?
Well, I start my day the same way every single day. I get up early. I'm up 4:25. I'm in the cold plunge 4:30. I do red light therapy. I do hydrogen water. I'm goofy about all that stuff. I head to the gym. I take the kids to school, and I'm on a tight schedule. Everything's scheduled by the minute usually. Mm-hmm. So you got to treat, real estate, really, you got to treat it like a real business. You have to work the hours every day. If you don't have anything to do, get on social media, call a friend, try to drum up business, go door knocking. That stuff still works. You got to be driven to get there. You know, I get a lot of people that call me and they go, hey, I'm getting ready to get my real estate license. I want to sell luxury homes. Can you teach me? And I'm like, well, do you have a decade? Because that's what it took me. You know, it took me 12 years to sell my first $1 million house.
Wow.
So it takes time. But, you know, the first 4 years it was very stressful because my wife was a teacher. She made $28,000 a year and she was our breadwinner, you know, and I was trying to hustle and get stuff going. And I'm driven that way, but gosh, it was a slow start, but you got to stick with it, especially with real estate. If you go 4 years full time, you're going to make it. You know, 2 years part time, you know, maybe selling to your friends and family. I don't know, but for me, it's really just getting up every day, being consistent, having a schedule, and just hammering it out. You got to hustle, because I always work like someone's out there trying to take my job, and they are, and I hear it all the time. And so that drives me even more. I love hearing that. You know, people ridicule my posts all the time. He posts way too much. He's doing way too much. We know he's in real estate. And I just want to go, thank you.
Haters are going to hate, right?
Yeah, I know. So you know, that hate drives me now, where it used to really bother me. You know, I took it personal. You know, at 53, I don't care, you know.
I have a sign. You'll appreciate this. I literally just recently put it up in my bathroom. It's a little canvas sign that says, pure joy is doing what they said you couldn't.
Amen.
You know, and I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah. I'm like, right? I'm like, yeah, just watch. Yeah. I'm with you.
It's also doing everything with integrity and never being in that gray area, because many realtors, and I've seen it, they're all about the paycheck. Not all of them. A lot of them, you know, I got to get this closed. I got to get paid. I'm like, what about your client? I mean, don't you want to get them in the house and have it be a stress-free deal? So the character, integrity, and name is really everything for me. That's more important than the money, anything. Mm-hmm. I've walked away from deals because it wasn't a person that I thought I needed to work with, And a lot of times they think they're interviewing me, but I'm interviewing them as well. If they're offensive, if they come off brash and very egotistical, they're not going to be fit with me. I'm just a goofball trying to sell some homes,
Well, I will tell you, you're an inspiration to me. You are literally what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I see him when I go to the gym. Currently, I've not been consistent. When I am consistently going to the gym, I can always count on seeing you there. So, and I'll tell you, at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's nice to see familiar faces, to know you're not the only crazy one getting up early,
Yeah. We're the normal ones, though. The crazy ones. Can you imagine? I can't imagine going to the gym and getting texts and phone calls and emails and all that. That's the main reason I do it. I just it's my escape,
Yeah. Yeah. It allows you to just get some relief. So I really want to sum up, you guys. One, what he said here is he's innovative. He's not afraid to take a risk. He banks on himself. He built a niche market by going after what people said was going to be difficult, but he put the work in. Did you hear that? I hope you guys really heard that. He put the work in, and it wasn't easy. He'd sacrificed for it, and he never gave up. The other thing is he values the people he's in relationship with, his referral partners, and he values his clients. And he values himself. By him saying that he disqualifies people means he values himself. That's a lesson to be learned right there. And one of the other things that he kept saying throughout that I want to make sure you guys heard is he talked consistency, routine, and integrity. Those things are paramount in your success. So I want to make sure that you heard all of that and help you unpack all that he said. Worth a listen to. Because you can Google him. He's actually the real deal. He's not just somebody that is reading his own press. So that's why we are so excited to have you here today. And how do people connect with you? Let us know.
My phone number, you can always text, phone call, 405-417-5466. My website is WyattPoindexter.com. Email is Wyatt@WyattPoindexter.com. Excellent. And I'm located downtown Edmond, Oklahoma. If you see the wall that's painted like Van Halen, that is me. That's the agency.
I think, hey, didn't we just get an invite to your grand opening?
Yes, you did.
I think so. I'm going to have to go now that I hear about the Van Halen sign.
Our owner will be there, Mauricio. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's the star of the Netflix series Buying Beverly Hills.
Oh, so that's cool.
He's coming in for the party. So.
Oh, well, I'll tell my husband he won't want to miss that. And he will roll up in his Range Rover, I'm sure, because, he's a car guy. He's an absolute car guy. Now, hey, one last question, Wyatt. What if I want to work with you to sell my house, and my house is worth $400,000? I can still call you, right?
I'm in all day long, and I'm going to market it like it's a $2 million house. Excellent. It's the same thing every time. We spend the money because that's what it takes to get the best price for someone's house. Okay. If putting it in the MLS and having an open house and a yard sign, that's the past. You got to market houses. I try to market mine at least twice a week, every single listing. And I think we have 80 listings. Wow. So it's a lot, but I want to stay on top of that. We have the largest following, I think, in Oklahoma for real estate.
Well, you got my husband with the cars.
Oh yeah. So. Got me with the outfit.
Our house is paid off. He's not getting in a bigger house. And so he's just scrolling for the cars, baby.
He's got his wheels for sale, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he got upgrades.
Okay.
Got some new shoes.
Yep. Got to have the new shoes. Awesome. All right. Cool. Jada, tell us where we go from here. And what a fun interview today.
Yes, I will make sure that Wyatt's cell phone, email, and website are all in the show notes below. But other than that, We just want to we want to invite you travelers to join us on the Success Revolution. It is our weekly blog fueled by relationships, referral, and revenue, where you will get those weekly growth strategies straight to your inbox to take control of your sales, your revenue, and achieve your full potential. We'll put that link to subscribe in the show notes as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so that you can join us next week as Athena brings real talk and real strategies on Gatekeeper Jedi, techniques to bypass obstacles and reach decision makers. We'll see you next week.
It'll be a fun one. Bye, everybody.